Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Bacon. Welcome to the show, y'all. Look here, Inmate Johnson, a.k.a. Officer Johnson, right? Starting to realize that he doesn't know exactly what's going on. He doesn't feel like they played him. It's just that they haven't told him everything yet. You understand? So he's buying his time and months go by. And everybody's doing their thing. But he's reporting back to his superiors and letting them know that it's way more product on the compound than what I'm starting to get in with the guys, you know? And his superiors are getting impatient with him. They tell him, look here, we need you to find out what's going on because we're not going to continue to have these problems take place. We have to put an end to this, and we have to put an end to it now, sooner rather than later. So he tells him he understands and all this and that, right? But it's not an easy thing to do. You can't push too hard when you're trying to do something, especially in his situation. If he pushes too hard, they're going to wonder why. You know, he really hasn't brought anything to the table that benefits them yet in the way that he's told them. They made him to be larger than life, and just because of that, they've allowed him to come in, but they haven't seen the benefit of it yet. Not yet. And he keeps telling them everything is going to get better. But they're getting money. They're getting money. And now they're starting to think, well, it's cool that he's getting his money too. It's not really interfering with our money. It's enough money to go around. But he's just like us. So they don't see him as this larger than life figure anymore. It's just another dope boy in the penitentiary. And all the dope boys, you know what I'm saying, they like to get along if they can. And by him working with them, or they all, you know what I'm saying, kicking it and whatnot, hey, get your pack, get your money. You feel what I'm saying? That's what it is right now. So he feels as though he doesn't have the influence over them that he thinks. So he talks to his gal, a.k.a. the other officer, right? And he tells her that there's something going on that he doesn't know about and he needs to find out, and he wants her to find out from the females. Start to push them to see if they can give up more information. So she does. She takes them all out. You know what I'm saying? They all go to the spa. You know? And when they all up in the spa, you know, they got the little champagne passed around, eating the strawberries, dipped in chocolate, and all of them are talking about their dudes and wishing that they were there with them and the things that they would do to them. You know, y'all know what y'all be talking about, females out there that's listening to the show, when y'all go have your spa days and stuff like that. So she starts to push a little bit and say, well, we really need to step it up and try to get a little bit more money because we're trying to get more money so that we can move things a little bit better, right? But we can't do the things that we want to do if we're not having the type of money, seeing that type of money come in. So the girls start talking about that. They making plenty of money. They dudes is getting that bread, right? But she's like, I don't know how. How are they making that much money based on what's coming in? And the girls, all of them are laughing and all this and that. So you don't know? And she was like, no, I don't know. She was like, it's more than one way to skin a cat. You worrying about everything coming in through the VG. It ain't all coming in through the VG. So she was like, okay, so y'all got an officer then. Y'all got some officers y'all working with. And they were like, yeah, when needed, but the officers are really the throw-off. She's the throw-off. She was like, yeah, what you mean by that? And she explained it to one of the girls, explained to her. She was like the one that had been doing it the longest. She was seasoned, you know what I'm saying? She told him, look, you always keep an officer or two or three or four on deck when you're making major moves so that if you have to sacrifice one of them, then you have one to do that for. That's all. But the major money is not coming in through the VG or the officers. Now, Johnson's gal is looking at her as if she's trying to play games with her. So she tell the girl, quit playing with me. What other way is it coming in? And they all looked at her and they started laughing. They was like, you want to tell her? They on that champagne. They're like, you want to tell her? And they're like, nah, we can't tell her. We've been told not to tell her that. Now they're saying this in front of her. And she getting mad. She said, y'all don't trust me? We all trying to get money, right? They're like, yeah, we getting money. So why don't y'all tell me so me and my man can get some money? That's what she tell them. They was like, well, you're going to have to get at your man and your man going to have to find out from them. We can't tell you that. So she was like, oh, okay then, y'all want to play games like that. That's okay. I thought y'all mess with me. You know, she kind of laughed it off. Didn't want them to take it too serious because she didn't want to get, you know what I'm saying, booted out the car without getting the information that she needed. You understand what I'm saying? So they continue to have their spa day and they're all laughing, joking, giggling, and having fun. But she can't wait to get to the house so she can talk to Johnson. And when Johnson calls, she said, look, you're right. There's more to this. Something else is going on. They have another route. So Johnson is thinking, what other route could it be? You only have so many entry points. Listen to me, y'all. You only have so many entry points into the penitentiary, right? An entry point is how it comes in. You got your front door, right, to the penitentiary, okay? The people that come through the front door are the people that are bringing it into it, potentially. Visitors, people that work at the prison. And that includes like administrative people and officers, okay? We talk about people that work at the prison. So other than that, how you getting it? How you getting it? In the volume that they're getting it in. That's the key. That's what they're trying to figure out. And when they had this conversation, they have to cut it short because they don't want this conversation recorded because they don't know who's going to be listening to those recordings and it could compromise the investigation. So when they go to visit, they're talking. Now, don't get me wrong. Johnson didn't say anything about that to anybody in the penitentiary because if he did, then they would know that he's running his mouth on the phone. Can't be trusted. Can't be trusted. So he waits intentionally to go to visit. And now when he's a visit, he's over there having a serious conversation with his pretend girlfriend and his brother about what's really going on. And she filling them in on everything that was told again and again. And they're trying to figure out what is being kept back from them. Because if they can figure that out, they can stamp it out at this particular facility. And maybe whatever's going on at this facility is being copycatted at the other facilities. This could be major. This could be major to the drug trafficking in the prisons, right? So they continue to talk, and then after the visit, Johnson gets back to the unit and he gets everybody together. You know what I'm saying? They all meet out on the ball field. And when they're out on the ball field, he said, look, man, I've been honest with y'all. I'm trying to figure out a way to make sure that all of us can get a lot of money before we get up out of here. But if you don't trust me, let me know. Because the plugs that I don't have to sell any drugs. I got plenty of money on the town. I just like getting money. Now, he said that because it speaks directly to the dope boy. See, most dope boys, when they get to a certain level and got money, they don't quit. Because now it's not about the money, it's about the rush. And that's what Johnson was speaking to. He was speaking to that rush that they all get for selling drugs, you know what I'm saying, when they've made more money than they could ever spend. So they understood what he was saying. They felt like he is one of us, you know. But they told him, said, look, we don't know if we can trust you with that yet. You ain't been here long enough and you ain't been doing business with us long enough. This move been going on for years and we got to protect it. People that have come and gone have used this move. We all have used this move. And once this move got established, it was understood amongst certain individuals, especially the gang members that's involved in the business, that we don't talk about this. And only certain individuals will be invited to even participate in this move. So he's sitting there, he's listening. He understands exactly what they're saying. But see, he's working on a different clock than they are. His superiors want something done. But these individuals that he's working with, they want to make sure that they can trust him. They got to make sure that they can trust him because this move is a once-in-a-lifetime move. Listen to me, y'all. This is $1 million move. And I know y'all thinking that, you know what I'm saying, that it's not that type of money up in the penitentiary, but I'm telling you, in certain prisons where they got industry and all this and that, it's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars that flow through a prison, not to mention the money that's being sent in by family members. You understand what I'm saying? You got anywhere, depending on what compound you're on and depending on what state you're in, you got anywhere from a 900 to 2,000 to 3,000 people at any institution. Come on now, money. And imagine if all of them are spending $20 to $50 a day so they can smoke or get high. That's money. And it's constant. It's constant. Because somebody out there loves them. Somebody out there cares about them. Somebody out there wants to make sure that they are comfortable as they can be in here. And if smoking a little weed, doing a little cocaine, or whatever the case may be to knock the edge off, then they want to do that for them. They want to do that for them, not fully understanding that they're hurting them too. But they want to do that for them. And then, not to mention the ones that's lying, they're spending $200, $300, $400, $500 a day, some of them. I've seen people get their whole inheritance in 1 week and it's gone to the dope man. And I'm talking about inheritance like $20,000, $30,000, $50,000. It happens. It happens. So when you have $1 million move, something that's allowing you to take care of your family, to contribute and be the person that you want to be to them, that you wish you would have been to them when you were on the streets in the right way, you'll be able to do it now. You're able to do it now, and you start to appreciate the position and the role that you play. You'll do anything to protect that. You'll do anything to protect that. If that meant holding something back from this individual, Johnson, then that's what it's going to be. They're not just going to give up the ghost like that to him because he comes in and he was on TV and he got these plugs with the cartels and all this and that. They're not just going to give it to him like that. So now he has to figure out for himself what's going on, or he has to buy his time. One of the two. But he's not going to get it as fast as his superiors want him to get it. So he's waiting. And he lets them know. And they tell him, we can't have this investigation going on indefinitely. It's just not possible. We can't keep you in there like that. But the longer Johnson stayed in there, the more penitentiary he became. And the more penitentiary he became, the more everybody saw that, yeah, let's pull him on in. We might be able to trust him. He might keep his mouth shut about the business. He just might. So he pulled up on one of the dudes he had gotten close with, right? He been working out with him every day. They walk and they talk every day. All they talk about is the moves, the business. That's all they talk about all day, every day. The moves in the business. It wasn't nothing else important to him. So they out there, they walking the track. And Johnson, he don't want to bring it up because he want them to bring it up. And so his partner tell him, he said, look, man, we've been talking about you. And we're thinking about bringing you on in, but see, when you get in on this move, you got to do what we call a buy-in. See, and a buy-in is this, y'all. A buy-in is like, you got to offer everybody that's already participating in that move something. You feel me? You just don't get to get in on the move for free. You got to buy your way in, right? And normally, it's a cutie pie for everybody involved, right? Now, you already got 5 or 6 people involved, right? So you're talking about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds that you're going to have to come on down with so that they can all feel comfortable in letting you in, right? Now, keep in mind, that's cheap. That's cheap. But it's just so you can put some skin in the game. You're not going to get it just for free. If anybody can get it, everybody would have it. You know what I'm saying? But that's not how this is either. It don't work that way. It don't work that way at all. But here we go. So they tell him, you got to buy in with this, right? And he tells them, he said, look, whatever it takes, I want in on it. Whatever it takes. But you got to tell me what it is and how I need to go about making sure that this get to y'all. And he's like, don't worry about that. What you do, you just drop it off. Now, he had already been instructed to let Johnson know, you got to go just drop it off at the house. You already know what's going on. Drop it off at the house, and then when we get it in, we're going to show you that we got it. He said another thing. He said, have your girl mark the bag so that you'll know it's yours. And wrap it in a way where only you will know. See, this is when they're trying to impress him. You understand? So, visit comes, he instructs his girl to do all the things that they told him to do, right? So she wraps it, puts a piece of tape around it. She got 2 bundles, right? 1.5 pounds. Puts a piece of tape around each one of the cutie pies, and then she puts her initials on it. LT on every one of them, right? They think LT is her name. LT really stands for lieutenant. You understand what I'm saying? Well, the game is raw. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So anyway, she wraps it up and she takes pictures of it, right? Because she got to make sure that this is put in the evidence box as well. And then she drops it off at one of the gal's house. And if you want to know how this turns out, you're going to have to tune in to the next episode because it's coming up, right? Tomorrow, right? It's going to get good. It's going to get better. I'm telling you. It's been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.